Hey, Lightspeed Sound. Should I be worried about Trump infringing the rights of federal employees?
Well, Hedge Knight,
Hmm.
that depends. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Don't Panic. Lightspeed Sound here, answering everybody's questions about Trump and Twitter and the EPA. So, recently, the Associated Press just broke the news that Trump has suspended all activity on the EPA's official Twitter, social media, and blogs. They also broke the news recently over the weekend that the National Park Service was forced to take down a couple of tweets on their official Twitter having to do with climate change, and that their activity was suspended temporarily. The number one question that I've been getting from people is Trump allowed to do this, and isn't he being an unconstitutional dictator by doing this? The short answer is no. What he's doing is completely constitutional. The long answer is Trump is still an idiot. His policies are dumb, and climate change is real, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so first thing we have to do is explain state agencies. State agencies are agencies that are created by the president in his capacity as the executive in the executive branch of the United States. The National Park Service, they were created under the auspices of the Department of the Interior. The EPA was signed into law by Nixon under an executive order. As an executive agency, they have several cross-branch functions, but the important thing is to note that in their capacity as a agency under the executive, in their purely executive functions, which is the day-to-day hiring, firing, and business decisions of an agency, the president has complete control. Now, the other important thing to remember that we have to go into is free speech and the government as an employee. All right, so Rankin v. McPherson. Rankin was a constable working in a Texas County office who overheard the news that somebody had tried to assassinate Reagan. Rankin replied with, "Man, I hope they do it good next time," or something similar, saying essentially that they would support Reagan being out of office because they didn't like Reagan. Rankin was fired. The Supreme Court ruled that anything said not in the official course of business as a private opinion of an employee is protected free speech, especially if it is political speech. However, they did clarify that if it had been in a public capacity, in a way that had something to do with their official course of business, the government would have the right to fire or hire or control that speech as an employee. Trump's executive order controls only the official Twitter feeds and blog posts and any social media of the state agency itself. In other words, it's the business end of the state agency, not the private Twitter accounts of anybody who works for the state agency. As the head of the executive branch of the United States, it is 100% within Trump's powers as a president to control the public press releases and announcements which make up an official Twitter feed of a state agency. The reason why he is doing it, of course, is to make sure that the state agency is in line with his own personal stances on climate change. Now, is he allowed to do this? Yes. The fact that he has to do this is what people should really be mad about. So TLDR, yes, Trump has a right to regulate the Twitter feed, the official public Twitter feed of the EPA and the National Park Service. However, the fact that he actually has to do that because he sucks so much at science and is so ignorant and has to essentially trash all of the research and all of the other public science-based policy announcements that those Twitter feeds have posted before says something about his abilities to judge things properly. Essentially, what we have to remember is that in America, policy is changed by leadership. And leadership is the only legitimate claim that Trump has right now. But it doesn't actually help matters to label everything as unconstitutional and spread false information about the laws and policy of the United States. What does actually help is doing your research, actually finding out what the news story is through reliable sources, and advocating for change and labeling things correctly. Don't be part of the alarmist machine. Keep informed. Knowledge is the ultimate power when ignorance is ruling your country. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys later. Any questions you might have, feel free to message me at lightspeedsound.tumblr.com.